Presenting Gary Greiser, a candidate for your next conference, workshop, or seminar. Gary Greiser is a presenter that has a unique way of blending music, humor, and motivational messages. Gary Greiser, the singer. Gary uses his rich baritone voice to recharge the American pride and patriotism in his audience.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'd gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Gary Greiser, the humorist. Gary blends humor with a message of sincerity that is entertaining and refreshing.
A young man went into the novelty store and noticed on the shelf behind the proprietor 3 little jars labeled brains. He asked, whose brains are those? The proprietor said, the first jar, doctor's brains, $500 an ounce. Second jar, lawyer's brains, $500 an ounce. Third jar, legislator's brains, $5,000 an ounce. I don't understand. Why is it that a legislator's brains are worth so much more than a doctor's or a lawyer's? Son, he said, do you have any idea how many legislators it takes to make 1 ounce of brains? The scene takes place in a hospital maternity ward. Several men are waiting anxiously for the announcement of the birth of their children. The nurse comes and announces to the first man in line, congratulations, sir, your wife just gave birth to twins. Wow, he said, isn't that something? I play baseball for the Minnesota Twins. And off he went to see his babies. Soon the nurse emerged again and said to the next man in line, congratulations, sir, your wife just gave birth to triplets. Wow, isn't that something? I work for 3M. And off he went to see his new family. The next guy in line started to reach for his coat and hat. The other guys in the room said, hey, buddy, where are you going? He said, I think I better go lie down for a while. I work for 7-Up. Well, I found a new book on the humor shelf recently entitled The Dumb Men's Joke Book, Volumes 1 and 2. And I realize I'm taking a risk with so many men in the audience, but I thought you ladies particularly might appreciate a few excerpts from the Dumb Men's Joke Book. What is the difference between men and government bonds? Bonds mature. How are men and beer bottles alike? They're both empty from the neck up. What is a man's idea of helping with housework? Lifting his legs so you can vacuum. Do you know what it means to come home to a man who will give you a little love, a little affection, and a little tenderness? It means you're in the wrong house. I'll risk one more. Why are married women heavier than single women? Single women come home, see what's in the refrigerator, and go to bed. Married women come home, see what's in the bed, and go to the refrigerator.
Gary Greiser, the motivational speaker. Gary has a love and concern for people of all ages. His approach to getting people to do the best they can while helping others is motivational and inspirational.
The baby eagles, as they emerge from their eggs, notice that they've got brothers and sisters here. And as they're getting acquainted, Mama and Papa Eagle show up bringing carry-out. The baby eagles instinctively open their mouths and they're fed. They hang out with their brothers and sisters, and day after day, the parent eagles bring the carry-out. What a life. They begin to grow. Feathers begin to sprout. Muscles begin to develop. The carry-out still comes, and then one day, Mama and Papa Eagle show up, no carry-out. They begin acting very strangely. And they take their powerful claws and tear the sticks and twigs and leaves apart, and the nest starts falling over the cliff. The baby eagles realize that the whole nest is going over the cliff, and so are they. They find themselves free falling through space, and instinctively they spread their wings. They're buoyed up by the air, catching under the wings. And using those new muscles that they've not had to use before, they begin reversing the trend, and soon they're soaring high above the nest that has been their home. We're told that baby eagles will never leave the nest on their own. They'll die of starvation rather than jump out of the nest. And so the supreme act of love that a parent eagle gives to its young is the push of their young from the nest, because then and only then does a baby eagle realize its potential. I think there's an analogy there for us. Who pushed you, and who are you pushing?
His concerns and interest in people range from senior adults to the little people.
Daddy, how does this thing fly, and 100 other wheres and whys? You really don't know, but you try. Thank God for kids. When you look down in those trusting eyes that look to you, you realize there's a love that you can't buy. Thank God for kids. Thank God for kids, there's magic for a while. A special kind of sunshine and a smile. Do you ever stop to think or wonder why the nearest thing to heaven is a child?
Gary Greiser, the educator. Gary is an experienced educator, having served as a teacher, administrator at the local school district level, and Associate Commissioner of Education in the Kentucky Department of Education.
I'm just about to complete 27 years as a professional educator, all in the state of Kentucky. I look back over my 27 years of experience, all the classwork I've taken, all the professional development courses I've had, all the experiences wrapped together, and I come out with one statement that is the most important thing I've learned from all of that. And it's simply this: people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Gary Greiser, the patriotic American. Gary raises the patriotic awareness of Americans with his music and words. He reminds his audience of the importance of those who have suffered and died for our great country.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the ocean white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Gary Greiser is an experienced presenter. He has performed before some of the largest audiences in America. He has shared the platform with such notables as Billy Graham, Johnny Cash, and Zig Ziglar. He has recorded numerous albums, including one with patriotic songs.
I've been to hundreds of conferences, seen hundreds of speakers. He's one of a kind. There's nobody like him that combines the music, the narrative, the inspiration in such a way as to literally bring tears to people's eyes, to cause us to reflect. I know that's what he's done for our association.
I have seen him at Zig Ziglar seminars where there'd be 3,000 and 4,000 people there, and I've seen him get a standing ovation before he finished his performance. And you don't see that happen very often, and Gary believes what he says, and he walks what he talks. And to me, there's not a better singing note motivator in the United States today.
I think Gary Greiser is a very special performer. I personally enjoy his program so much that I've invited him to be at our national convention of the American Association of School Administrators. He's such an inspiration to people. He gives a performance on patriotism that, as I've noticed in the past, there'll not be a dry eye in the audience.
Zig Ziglar said it best. America needs what Gary Greiser has to offer. Gary can be your next presenter. You will be glad you invited him. He is a member of the National Speakers Association.
'Cause I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'd gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Thank you. Thank you.